Good morning, my Real News Midday TV family. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning for another news update for Thursday, December 4, 2025. And I'm wishing for everyone a wonderful and a productive day. And in the news this morning, Chinese businesswoman injured in St. Andrew home invasion, security officer shot. A Chinese businesswoman and a Hawkeye security officer were wounded during a home invasion on Hinin Road in St. Andrew on Wednesday morning. It is understood that about 9 a.m., shortly after the woman entered her home, 3 armed men forced their way inside, accosted her, and struck her in the head with a firearm while demanding money. A Hawkeye security team responded shortly after a distress signal from the premises, and upon their arrival, they came under heavy gunfire from the hoodlums. There was an exchange of gunfire before the gunmen fled the scene in different directions, 2 by foot and the other in the businesswoman's Toyota Hiace vehicle, which he subsequently crashed into a utility pole along Oxford Road before making good his escape. A Hawkeye officer was grazed in the leg during the incident and was taken to hospital where he received treatment. The woman sustained a wound to the head from being struck by the gun and was treated. Preliminary investigations pointed to robbery as the primary motive behind the attack, according to police sources. It is unclear whether the robbers took off with other valuables outside of the motor vehicle. Businesswoman allegedly shoots a partner in the neck, charged. A St. Mary businesswoman has been charged with wounding with intent following an alleged domestic dispute involving her partner, which escalated into gunfire in Belfield 2 years ago. Charged is 44-year-old Monica Reed of Claremont Avenue. The incident reportedly occurred on October 24, 2023. According to reports from the Puerto Maria police, the pair were involved in an altercation at 11:58 a.m., during which Reed reportedly drew her licensed firearm and discharged it, injuring her partner. Police say the man was assisted to hospital, treated and released. A formal report triggered an investigation, after which Reed was arrested and charged. Authorities say a court date is being arranged. Man charged in killing of British national in St. Anne. Police have arrested and charged a St. Anne man in connection with the fatal attack of a British national in Retreat Heights earlier this year. Charged with murder is 53-year-old Gary Ferguson, otherwise called Peter, of Great Pond, Ocharias. The victim has been identified as 61-year-old Simon Blanchard, a retired engineer who lived in Retreat Heights, Falmouth, Trelawney. According to the Falmouth police, the incident occurred around 5:10 a.m. on June 26, when Blanchard reportedly heard a disturbance outside his home and went to investigate. While at his gate, he was confronted by Ferguson and the 3 other men who police say were attempting to break into a neighboring house. During the confrontation, Blanchard was attacked. Police were called and upon arrival discovered Blanchard unresponsive. He was taken to hospital where he was pronounced dead. Following what investigators described as an intense investigation, forensic evidence, including fingerprints allegedly belonging to Ferguson, linked him to the scene. He was later taken into custody and charged. A court date is currently being finalized. Woman given 1-week deadline to repay stolen cash or return to jail. A woman has been given 1 week to make a full restitution to a scamming victim or be remanded in custody. Charged with obtaining money under false pretense is Shauna Lawson. Lawson appeared in the Kingston and the St. Andrew Parish Court on Tuesday with only a small portion of the cash she was supposed to return to a victim of a rental scam she was allegedly involved in. The accused allegedly participated in a rental scam involving another man and a woman, where she was instructed to introduce herself under the false name of Stacia Nunez and to show a rental listing. Money was then paid to her employer in relation to the listing. The amount of cash was not disclosed in court. The woman had been released from custody on humanitarian grounds to gather the total sum, but returned without it. Immediately, Senior Parish Judge Sancha Burrell contemplated returning her to custody, but it was revealed that the woman had brought her young baby along with her. The Child Care and Protection Act forbids the presence of children other than infants in arms in the court unless the child is strictly needed, and instructs the court to order the removal of children outside of that circumstance. Speaking firmly, Burrell said, "I am giving her until next week to return with the money, and we will call the Child Protection and Family Services Agency if you dare to come here with the baby and not the money." She is to return to court on December 9. Door discourse in court sends a woman back to restorative justice. Two women were sent back to restorative justice after appearing before the Kingston and the St. Andrew Parish Court on Tuesday. Natasha Turner and Shanae Daly went back and forth in court about how a restorative justice agreement involving a replacement door was to be settled. The agreement was that Turner was to pay Daly a sum of money to replace certain items, including glasses and the custom door. However, Turner paid the sum of money for the glasses and then purchased what she described as the same door to replace the one that had been damaged in the initial altercation between families. Turner claimed that she had texted Daly to arrange a drop-off time for the door, but the other woman simply responded that the court would deal with it. In her defense, Daly said the first door was custom-made, to which Turner produced the pictures of both the doors to show Senior Parish Judge Sancha Burrell. While the judge agreed that the doors looked the same upon hearing the price of the door, which was $20,000 less than what she had initially paid, Daly again mounted objections. Upon hearing this, the courtroom was flooded with chatter. Appearing frustrated, Burrell noted that there could be multiple reasons that an identical item could be sourced at a lower price, and cautioned Daly that the law instructs that victims have a responsibility to mitigate losses. The two were sent back to restorative justice to iron out the details of the agreement. The case and the cross case had initially involved 4 women and 2 men, but the other women were dismissed on Tuesday in light of the restorative justice agreement, while the matter with the men was sent to trial for March 23, 2026. Turner and Daly are to return on that trial date to close out the matter. Opposition demands a stronger oversight of government's hurricane relief distribution. The opposition People's National Party is calling for a more robust and transparent system to track the distribution of government-issued hurricane relief supplies following an announcement from Minister of Information Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon that such a system will soon be implemented in the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa. While welcoming the move toward better monitoring, the opposition says the minister's statement fails to address a growing public concern over reports of politically partisan handling of relief efforts. According to the PNP, government operatives, former Jamaica Labour Party candidates, and unelected political figures have allegedly been involved in distributing state resources without a proper authority. The PNP argues that individuals who are not members of parliament for affected constituencies and who hold no official role in ministries responsible for relief distribution should not be delivering aid. The party describes these actions as a breach of good governance principles that undermines public trust during a period when Jamaicans are vulnerable and relying on fairness and order. The opposition further insists that state resources must not be distributed by political actors without notifying the elected representatives for those areas. They contend that a credible tracking system must include detailed information to ensure accountability, such as who exactly delivered the relief supplies, when supplies were dispatched, including exact dates and times, where and when deliveries occurred, names of team members involved in distribution, recipients of the supplies, including shelters, community groups, churches and households, and the proof that the sitting member of parliament was informed. The PNP says that the government must demonstrate that every step of the relief distribution process can be transparently verified. Jamaicans deserve more than vague assurances, the opposition said, stressing the need for full accountability. They warned that after the fact, reporting or selective disclosures would not be sufficient, nor would systems that obscure potential political misuse of state resources. Hurricane relief belongs to the people of Jamaica, not to any political party or its operatives, the statement concluded. The opposition maintains that with the right data collected, a tracking system could help answer persistent questions and restore public confidence in the distribution process. Guys, thanks for watching. Please join us this afternoon at 2 p.m. for another news update.